We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been getting bigger.
Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your week daily morning show where we bring you the latest and everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about how a major breakout is likely to be coming to Bitcoin very, very soon. All the stars are aligning for a break well above $73,000, and I do believe next stop's going to be north of 90. Today, we're going to be talking about exactly why. I'm going to be showing you all of the fundamental reasons why a major breakout on Bitcoin and its fellow altcoins is going to be coming soon. And I'm going to show you how to profit from that movement. It's our job here on the Crypto Jeb YouTube channel to teach you guys how to succeed financially, and that is exactly what we are going to do today. Apologies for the technical difficulties. Not only am I ridiculously sick as a dog, I really ought to be in bed right now, but I don't miss streams because I'm sick. I don't do that. I'm an entrepreneur. I don't take sick days if I can avoid it. I'm not in the hospital, so I'm going to be here. But then, of course, we had some technical difficulties also. So here we are. We're here. We're a little late. I do apologize for that, but that's going to lead us into one of our teachings for today. We've got a lot to cover. Let's go ahead and read some chat, and then we're going to dive right on into it because we got a lot to get to. Mike Lowry's in chat, said hashtag FinSoft Friday. That's right. Today is Friday, which means that it is the day of financial sovereignty. Thank you, everyone who has tuned in over the last few months as we've been really diving into the principles of financial sovereignty. Crypto Surge is in chat. Joe Bollier's in chat. Give me the face palm. Sorry I didn't meet your standard there, Joe Bollier. I apologize. I'm very sorry about that. Joey Van Englenberg in chat. Christina Orozco's in chat. Jason Burt. I'm just messing with you, Joe. Johnny Losada is in chat. Al Bundles Crypto Trappa is in chat. Coin Operator Chris is in chat. Alan Rowe is in chat. Crypto Mini Bike, Mr. Check 1984, Cynthia Dizon, and many, many more. The Flying Fish said, shout out to me, Jeb, or I'll unsubscribe. Shout out to you. Would you have really unsubscribed, though? Would you have? I'm really curious. Would you have? Anyway, Drian's in chat. Shadrach Frost, Queen, and everybody else. Chris Graham. Excited to see all of you guys in chat. Thank you very much for tuning in. Let's go ahead and jump on over to CoinMarketCap. Here is our price as we have seen over the last few days. Right now, Bitcoin is trading at $71,147. It's up 5%, excuse me, over the last 7 days. Binance still up 18% over the last 7 days. We've seen a major victory coming out of Binance as it has broken above a new all-time high. Solana sitting up 2.41% in the last 7 days at 170. Just sitting there prepared for takeoff. It hasn't gotten started yet, but it'll likely be coming soon. Cardano rallying on news that its next hard fork is going to be coming out pretty soon. Charles Hoskinson's been talking about that on Twitter. We've rallied up to 48 cents. It's up 7.69% in the last 7 days, up 6% in the last 24 hours. So we've had a movement on Cardano starting recently. Polkadot is up 3.75% in the last 7 days, which is a good sign. And Bitcoin Cash, funnily enough, is up 10% in the last 7 days. It is still infinitely far away from being a good project, but it is up 10%. So shout out to any of you guys that are for some reason holding Bitcoin Cash. If you still think Bitcoin Cash is the OG, if you still think that Bitcoin Cash is the real Bitcoin, I am here to tell you you're in the minority because Bitcoin Cash hard forked off of Bitcoin when Bitcoin was trading below $4,000. Bitcoin Cash 7 years later is trading at $500. This is a cautionary tale to anyone who wants to stand against Bitcoin. Anyone who wants to stand in competition against Bitcoin. Here's the history of it. I remember when it hard forked. It was one of the first things that happened in the space when I got into the space. It literally hard forked a couple of days before I got into the space. The 27th of July, 2017. I got into cryptocurrency on the 31st of July. So I'm intimately familiar with the Bitcoin Cash story. The price action chart starts on 7/27, actually. So about a week later, I got into crypto, and I was watching this all play out. Rallied up to $3,170 briefly, rallying up to being in parity with Bitcoin, you think. Except Bitcoin was trading at $20,000 at the time that Bitcoin Cash hit $3,000, and it's never recovered. Every bull market, the peaks have been getting lower. If you're thinking about buying Bitcoin Cash, do yourself a favor and don't. Buy the real thing. Bitcoin Cash is a nonsensical hard fork of Bitcoin attempting to increase the block size by taking it from a 1 megabyte block to an 8 megabyte block, as if that was ever going to solve anything at all in the first place. Bitcoin's block size is not the issue. The issue is that Bitcoin doesn't have the amount of throughput that it needs, no matter how much you change the block size. The only way to give Bitcoin the ability to be everyday cash is to build something like Lightning Network. Lightning Network is much more adopted than Bitcoin Cash ever was because it actually solves the problem, whereas Bitcoin Cash does not. It just kicks the can down the road because eventually you're going to fill up an 8 megabyte block also. Bitcoin was never designed to be able to handle 100,000 transactions a second. It was designed to be a store of value, and then if it gets used as a day currency, then great, but it was designed to be an investment vehicle. I do not like Bitcoin Cash. Feel free to tell me why you disagree or agree in the chat down below. I'm open to any opinion, but I will definitely debate you on that one. Tron is also sitting here at about $10 billion in market capitalization, just like Bitcoin Cash. Near Protocol at $8 billion. It's up 2.29% in the last 7 days. Very excited about Near Protocol. Took a pretty big position in it earlier on this year. So far, it's been panning out as one of my best investments. Not the best investment in our portfolio, but one of the higher performing ones. I mean, it's nearly tripled. In fact, it's more than tripled since I got invested in it back in Q4 and moving on into the beginning of Q1 this year. ICP, popcorn. Who remembers popcorn? The philosophy of popcorn. We've talked about popcorn on the channel quite a bit. Popcorn is amazing. Orville Redenbacher or Act 2. What's your favorite popcorn? Or another kind? What's your favorite popcorn? Here's the reason I mentioned popcorn. The altcoins are popping off like popcorn kernels. One goes off and another one goes off, and it doesn't seem to have a whole lot of rhyme or reason because one coin is down, one coin is up. Why is this coin going up and that coin going down? It seems random. It's not. The heat in the space is heating up. And so whenever there's a opportunity in one coin, it just explodes in a little pop. And so you see cryptocurrencies like Injective up 22% right next to Graph, which is down 1%. Graph is not in position to pop. Yeah, Injective was up 22% in a week. Monero, funnily enough, is up 13% in the last 7 days. BitTensor up about 12% in the last 7 days. Floki up 16.65% in the last 7 days. All the while you've got other cryptocurrencies like Bonk and Maker that are down over 5% in the last 24 hours. In the last 7 days, excuse me. And so what we're seeing right now is that you're having different cryptocurrencies pop off. And what's going on here is that you are seeing the heat increase. You see Caspa up 25%. You see these random little cryptocurrencies over here. There doesn't seem to be a lot of rhyme or reason, but they dog-leg to the upside. Binance, Caspa, Injective, Nervos Network jumping back into the top 100. Stacks up 25%. Wormhole up 25%. Ordi up 30%. What's going on here? The heat is increasing. The heat is increasing, and Bitcoin is stuck below. My chart will load. See if we're having more technical difficulties. Well, we'll get that loading. But Bitcoin is stuck below resistance at $73,000. It's all-time high. And so over the last few days, Bitcoin has been sitting here above $70,000, which I'm going to show you as soon as TradingView decides to cooperate. TradingView and I really have a love-hate relationship. I love TradingView, but sometimes it just completely glitches out. This time, it's nothing on our computer end. That is literally just TradingView being TradingView. Anyway, let's switch over here. I think this will work. There we go. So Bitcoin right now is stuck beneath about $73,000. But it's also stuck above $70,000. This is the longest point in history that Bitcoin has ever spent above $70,000. We have been above $70,000 for 72 hours next hour. At 11 a.m., we will have been above $70,000 for 72 hours. That has never happened before in the history of Bitcoin. Somebody mentioned that in chat the other day, and it was a very good point. The longest we've ever been above $70,000 was a day and 23 hours, which was 47 hours. The longest we've ever stayed up there for a long period of time, even without a wick dropping below, was 3.5 days. So in the next day or two, Bitcoin is going to set a new record for being above $70,000. Above $70,000. Sorry, give me just a second, guys. We are seeing that this is the longest period in time that Bitcoin has ever been above $70,000. Give me just a second. I'm going to have to figure out. One moment, guys. I think that was just my baby, but I will be right now. All right. Sorry about that. I thought my wife was going into labor. I had to go and check on her. My apologies. So let's continue. What was I saying? What I was saying is that Bitcoin has spent the longest time above $70,000 that we have seen in history. We've been up here for 72 hours. About half an hour from now, it will be 72 full hours. And that is remarkable because it means that Bitcoin is stuck here above $70,000, but we have not yet been able to break above $73,800. And so we're going to need to spend some time just kind of consolidating up here. Bitcoin is building support. As you can see, we're not trading down here in this range anymore. Instead, we're trading up here in this upper range. The way that you look at this in a technical analysis standpoint is that the level that you're closer to is the level you're more likely to break. That's just the way it is. And so we're closer to all-time high, which means that we're more likely to break that. We're in a confirmed uptrend. And if you look at the daily chart, then what we're going to be seeing here is that Bitcoin has a buy signal with a take profit that leads us up towards the all-time high. Accidentally just deleted LUX ALGO. Let's go ahead and get that back up. But LUX ALGO is showing us that there's a take profit right up there at that level. And so we're going to want to see exactly how that all plays out. Let's pull that back up. Sometimes you just have one of those days where everything that could be a little bit off is a little bit off. Let's pull this back up. Get our TPSL levels on signals. Boom. And then we can see, I'll change it back to the way that you saw it before, but this is actually giving us the same number. $71,126.40. See the level right here. First take profit's right there. Second take profit is up here at $76,000, which is above our all-time high. So LUX ALGO is pointing us towards more than likely breaking above all-time high. We've hit the first take profit level. We're likely to end up breaking further above that. We've got the buy signal in motion, and if we come in here and we turn back on Trend Catcher, we'll see that the trend catcher is green and has been for some time. We've also got the three white soldiers that just came in. We've got MACD crossing bullish and remaining bullish, which is very, very exciting news because this is the second time this year that we've seen Bitcoin have a bullish MACD cross above the zero level on the histogram. The last time we saw that happen, Bitcoin rallied $22,000 in the span of just 16 short days. We are just in days, potentially just moments, from a breakout above all-time high. We've even got bullishness coming back in from the Crypto Jeb Oscillator, as you can see right here. And so the Crypto Jeb Oscillator, LUX ALGO, the candlestick formations, even the 20 daily exponential moving average and our Bollinger Bands are telling us the exact same thing. Bitcoin has dropped down to the 20 daily exponential moving average, and we're also bouncing off of the Bollinger Bands. You can see right here, this line right there, that represents the 20 daily exponential moving average. This middle line represents a 20 daily simple moving average, which is the center line of the Bollinger Bands. John Bollinger created these about 4 decades ago, and they are remarkable because they show us the volatility of the cryptocurrency space. We're likely to see a major breakout, therefore, above the top Bollinger Band, which represents a 95% or second standard deviation of price action away from the center line on the 20 daily simple moving average, which is this more orange line right here, red line, whatever it may be. I'm colorblind. And if Bitcoin does end up continuing to the upside here, we'll break above the top Bollinger Band and we'll end up going into a breakout, potentially even as soon as the weekend. This is coming soon. Bitcoin is going to make an attempt at this very, very soon. We've hit the local top. I know there's a lot on the screen here, so I'm going to try and make this as easy to read as possible. But we are at the local top, as can be seen right here. This level that I'm going to turn red for resistance is kind of our key level. We're right there. Bitcoin breaking above this level at $71,900 would mean that Bitcoin is sitting at the highest level that it has been at ever since we put a wick above here on April the 8th. 2 months ago. We'll be at a 2-month high, and if we break up to that 2-month high, then we're only about $1,000 away, about $2,000 away, excuse me, from breaking the all-time high. And so if we do see Bitcoin breaking above the all-time high, that's where things are going to go absolutely freaking nuts. You can see it in the altcoins. The altcoins are all popping off. You've got an 18% rally on Binance. You've got a 10% rally on Bitcoin Cash of all cryptocurrencies. You've got stacks of 26%, etc. We already talked about that. Point being, if Bitcoin does break above $71,900, then you can expect a major rally coming very, very soon. All right. Let's go ahead and read a little bit of chat. I will go ahead and clarify what happened there. My wife and my daughter are on the other side of that door over there, and I heard a thunk on the door. And apparently it was my baby, my daughter Charity, who's 13 months old, like rammed her head into it. So, but I thought that my wife had fallen into it, like she was going into labor. So I was like, I need to check this. So I checked the security camera, and she was like leaned over, and so I thought she was going into labor. But she was actually texting me that everything was fine. So I went out there and opened the door, and she said, "Oh, I'm sorry. Charity just fell into the door." So I was like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna get back to stream. I love you." So everything's good. I had to check because I thought that she had fallen or something. So apologies for the interruption there. Thank you guys very much for staying tuned through that. Apologies for the interruption. All right, let's continue to read a little bit of chat here, and then we will keep it moving. People are saying no sound. No, I know. That's why I was trying to listen to see what was going on. All right. Life-changing seeds planted. Jeb having a Friday for sure. I really am. I am having a Friday. I'm looking forward to the weekend. You know, I set my life up in such a way where I look forward to Friday and I look forward to Monday. That's where I. No, I'm not apologizing for being a loving husband. I will definitely step away if I think if I think anybody is in danger and I can do something about it, let alone my wife or my daughter, or my son who's in the womb. But apologies for all the interruptions because I know we were late and then the technical difficulties, and I apologies for all of that. Let's see. Your baby will be about a month and a half older than mine, Satchet said. That's so cool. But yeah, like I said, we have, what I've learned is that showing up is part of the battle, right? There are times that I've been late to stream. There's been a lot of times I've been late to stream. There's been times where, I wasn't as prepared as I wanted to be, or I didn't have all my thoughts together exactly the way that I thought there would be. And the most important thing is showing up. That I try and do this stream 5 days a week without fail, unless I plan to go on a vacation. Because one of the things that screwed me over a long time ago when I was building the channel was I went from being very consistent to being very inconsistent, which is why we started uploading 5 days a week again, because that's what we used to do and it works and you guys like it. So if you haven't already, make sure to tune into our week daily uploads at 2 p.m. We're doing a daily dose of cryptocurrency and we talk about anything under the sun that is going on that you guys will be enjoying. We go live here at 10 a.m. Eastern every day. Some days I'm late, and I could just throw my hands up and say whatever. It's not even. There's no point even going on stream because it's embarrassing, right? When you're late, like I was this morning. And so what I've realized is that it's kind of like with the gym. It's kind of like with investment. You have to embrace that sometimes things are going to go wrong. You want to minimize it as much as you can. It is my intention to never be a second late. My intention and my schedule and my system is I sit down and I look at my clock, and literally at the very second that it hits 9:59, I hit the button to start the intro because it's exactly a minute long. So that exactly as soon as the clock strikes 10 o'clock, I am live, and the broadcast about 20 seconds late, so you guys will see it at about 10 o'clock and 20 seconds. That's the system that I attempt to follow. Some days it doesn't quite work out that way. And it's our goal. That's a measurable. We're trying to get that so that it happens like that as consistently as possible. But what I also know is that what's more important than being here to the second on time, which is my intention, is being here, period, and being here every day. We go live at 10 a.m. and some days that, something a wrench might get thrown in that because, we've got a baby coming. We've got one baby, a toddler, and a third baby on the way. And so, we're a small team. So my wife and I work together on the stream. And so it's difficult sometimes and so that's my goal, to be on time. Absolutely. It's very important to me. That being said, I am also learning, and this is something I want you guys to learn, that sometimes you're going to screw it up. Sometimes there's going to be a mistake. And what can end up happening is if you take 2 steps forward and 1 step back, a lot of times we can get thrown off the horse like, I've just got to throw my hands up and quit. And it's not like that. We've got to keep pushing towards a goal. In investment, it looks like this. Whenever we, let's say we forgot to invest on a Friday, or let's say that we just didn't have enough money one week because of some kind of emergency to invest. Let's say that we got locked out of our Coinbase. Let's say that your account got hacked and you lost some money. It's tempting to throw out the schedule. It's tempting to throw out the system and say, I'm just going to quit. But something I've always said is that you win on the hard days. You win on the days when crap's hitting the fan, because that's when you really find out what you're made of. I have found out what I'm made of. And some of that has made me very happy, and some of it has made me very disappointed since I've been married, because being married and having a family is the quickest way to find out exactly what you're made of, because it will put you to the test every single day. Same thing with being an entrepreneur. Every day that you're working on a business and being an entrepreneur, being on YouTube, it will put you to the test, and it will draw out character traits of you. It's the book of Proverbs talks about this. It's the refining fire, where you are silver that is being boiled down, and the dross comes up to the surface so that the Holy Spirit can skim it away. I'm put to the test. I'm put under fire. I'm put under strain. What comes out of me when I'm put under stress? Stress is one of the best things if it's in moderation and if there's the right amount. There's not too little, there's not too much, but the right amount of stress is one of the best things that can ever happen to a young individual who is growing, because it will show you exactly what you were made of. It'll show you your strengths. It'll show you your weaknesses. In some areas, I'm extremely good under pressure. In fact, I'm probably one of the best people under pressure of anybody I know in some areas. In other areas, I suck under pressure. And so it gives me the ability to say, oh, I'm strong here. It gives me the ability to say, oh, I'm weak here and I need to work on that. And so the most important thing in life when it comes to succeeding is consistency. One of the most important. I won't say it's exactly the most important, but it's definitely up there in the top 5. Is consistency and not quitting. The people that succeed in business, the people that succeed in family life, the people that succeed in their ministry, the people that succeed in investment, they are just hell-bent. They're just hell-bent. I don't quit. You'll have to kill me. There's that famous clip of Elon Musk saying, someone asked him, what would we have to do to make you stop? With Tesla and with SpaceX and with the Boring Company and everything. This clip's like 10 years old. You can go find it. And he just casually looked at the interviewer and he said, "You'd have to kill me." He said, "What?" I just, he's got his little stutter, right? He's like, "You'd have to kill me." Okay, then. That's you've got to have that mindset if you want to succeed. You cannot quit. If you have started something that you deem worthy, you don't get the option to quit. I remember when I started this YouTube channel, videos, the upload schedule back then was 2 p.m. Actually, I take that back. It was 10 a.m. I would upload at 10 a.m. every single day. I didn't give myself the option to quit because it was my ticket out of poverty. It was my ticket to say, man, I'm going to make a difference in my life. I'm going to be an example to people. I'm going to provide for the family that I hope to have one day. And now I'm living that dream, right? I didn't give myself an option to quit. I uploaded a video every single day, 7 days a week for 3.5 years. I worked 7 days a week and I did not quit. I could count the number of days I missed a year on both of my hands because I didn't quit. And if I missed a day, I got right back on the horse and I kept it up the next day because it's about consistent effort. My friends, when it comes to investment, stuff is going to hit the freaking fan sometimes. Sometimes you're going to be late. Sometimes you're going to drop the weight. Sometimes you're going to get injured. Sometimes you're not going to show up. Sometimes you're going to have a sick day. But you don't give up if it's a worthwhile investment. With budgeting, this is something I've been doing a lot of lately, is getting a lot better with budgeting. In the last season, and I fail sometimes. I'm like, man, I'm a week behind, or I'm not tracking things the way I should, or we haven't sat down. There's not this is something that we're like, what exact time do we do this? We're figuring out a lot of the stuff that we're teaching at the same time because I'm trying to teach you guys what I need to hear. The best teachers are those that are teaching themselves, and their students are just in the audience of a conversation between the teacher and themselves. So that's what you are. You're in the audience between a teacher teaching himself. I'm looking at this camera like it's a mirror, and I'm talking to myself, and you just happen to be here listening to my little internal monologue. That's what this stream is, more or less. And so, there are times where, with budgeting or with whatever, investment, it's like, I just feel like we missed the mark here, like I'm behind, or I didn't, but we can't quit. I have deemed having a budget a worthwhile use of my time. I have deemed investing in cryptocurrency a worthwhile use of my time. I have deemed taking vitamins a worthwhile use of my time. I have deemed being a loving husband a worthwhile use of my time. I have deemed doing YouTube here and teaching you guys about the principles of financial sovereignty a worthwhile use of my time. I have values, and the way that you end up having a purposeful life. And please let me see some amens in chat because I know some of you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. The way you end up leading a purposeful life is you figure out what you value and you make sure your actions line up with it. And you give yourself some grace when you fail, but you keep it up and you don't freaking quit. Because sometimes you're going to want to quit. But when you dig down deep inside, like I'll show you guys. When you dig down deep inside, you've got to figure out what you value. And then you've got to figure out whether you're actually living what you say. I have a set of affirmations kind of that I read to myself every morning. I believe in the power of prayer. I believe in the power of worship. I believe in the power of scripture memorization. I believe in the power of physical strength and cardiovascular conditioning. I believe in financial sovereignty. I fight to lead a marriage that is loving, gentle, kind, fun, and intimate. I fight to leave to give my family a life that resembles heaven, full of intimate and joyous relationships. I fight to be free of chaos and bondage. I'm thankful for my God. I'm thankful for my wife, Sarah. I'm thankful for my children, Malachi, Charity, and I'm not going to tell you the next one's name just yet. I'm thankful for my calling to lead my family and teach on financial sovereignty. I'm thankful for my current lot in life. I never make make an empty promise. I never quit, and I always strive to love like Jesus. That is what I value. That is what I believe. That is who I am. And so I find purpose in life, and I get to have this lion inside of me roar. Even when I'm sick as a freaking dog, I can still go, I can still do that, right? Because I value something, and I am fighting every single day to ensure that my actions line up with exactly who I say that I am. And when you live a life where you fight every single day to live in a way that mirrors exactly who you say you are an individual of integrity. Because a person of integrity is somebody who does what they say they believe they should do. A person without integrity is someone who says, I believe in this and I do that. That is an unintegral action. If you say you believe in being, a kind individual and you're being a jerk, you are lacking integrity because you're not being the person that you say you believe you should be. If somebody says, oh yeah, I'm evil and I like it, and then they're evil, technically there's nothing unintegral about that. They are being exactly who they say they ought to be, who exactly they say they want to be. They might be lying, but their actions are matching what they say they believe about themselves. I tell myself what I believe about myself, and then I look at that like a mirror and say, but am I living that? And if not, how do I change that? Because you will become depressed, you will become anxious, you will be miserable in life if who you believe you are and who you actually are not the same individual, or at least you're not moving in the direction of those two being the same individual. You want to be depressed? Don't know who you are, or know who you are and don't be that person. That is a surefire way to become depressed. That is the number one way to become depressed. You want to cure a depression? Figure out who you are and what you value, and then live that life every single day. And if you fall, then get your butt back up as quickly as you possibly can and keep striving for it, because it's the only way to have peace, is to know who you are and to live as such. Let's read a little bit of chat. We got a lot of amens in chat. Actually, failure is good because you learn from it. Exactly. Even on the hardest day, got to keep going. Yeah, there's not that you can't rest. It's not that. I mean, we all need a Sabbath. I've chosen to take Sabbaths now, right? But there are seasons where you got to just bust your freaking tail, and you are not going to understand in the moment why you're working for something. You're seeing something thinking, oh my goodness. You're seeing that I've got to work very hard and I'm not seeing how this is going to pay off. I don't know how this is all going to work out. I'm confused. I don't understand. Even in some seasons in my life, I've looked out and I've been like, man, where's this going? Is what I'm doing actually going to make a difference? Like I have a vision to raise $1 billion for the kingdom of God. I want to give $1 billion to people that are in sex slavery, and to people that are preaching the gospel, and to ministers that their job is not to worry about money. Their job is to have, to impact people, and I'm able to enable them financially to do that and to help people. That's my goal. And I think that, and I look at myself and I'm like, man, how in the world, $1 billion? Like, that's a lot of freaking money. But I've had that number on my heart for the last 6 years. I know it means something. And I'm trying to figure out how exactly to do that. I look out in the future, I'm like, man, I don't know exactly how I'm going to get there. I kind of have an idea, but I just know that if I decide who I am, and I live that way every day, and I've decided to be the right kind of person. You heard some of what I consider myself to be and what I'm striving to be earlier. Then that's where I will have success. And even if I don't hit $1 billion, I could still end up being, dramatically shaping people's lives. Jeb, young man, you are wise. It took me a lot longer to understand what you're saying. Preach, brother. People need to hear it. People say people say youth is wasted on the young. I don't want to be that individual. I don't want my youth to be wasted on me. You don't fail unless you quit. You didn't get the goal the first time, or however many times. It just means you haven't completed the goal yet. Exactly. Just means you're in the process. It means you're in the hunt. Man, the lion's got to fall a few times while he's chasing that gazelle, but he's going to get him eventually. So don't quit running. All right, let's read a little bit of chat. Let's talk a little bit more about crypto. Before we do, I want to let you know today's stream is brought to you in part by NordVPN. Make sure you go to nordvpn.com/Jeb. Sign up for a 2-year plan and protect yourself for the duration of the bull market, so that if somebody is trying to hack you, you become invisible and they can't see you. See, when we're dealing with investment, it is more important, and please remember this, you might not realize right now how important this is, but you might realize later how important what I'm saying is. Please remember what I'm about to say. Risk management is more important than reward maximization. The risk and reward equation, the risk management portion of the equation is substantially more important than the reward maximization part of the equation. Minimizing risk is the most important thing that you can do. Now, you can't minimize risk to zero or you're not investing at all, right? There's a risk from just holding dollars because they inflate. You can't minimize risk entirely, but minimizing unnecessary risk is important. And one piece of unnecessary risk is leaving yourself vulnerable to hackers. So make sure you sign up for NordVPN with the link in the description box down below or by going to nordvpn.com/Jeb to get a 2-year plan and protect yourself from hackers. Minimize that risk. All right, let's read a little bit of chat. Line in my pocket said the fact that ADA is moving is hella bullish for the markets. Yes, I agree. It is. Shadrach Frost said, hey, everyone, let's click the like button. It only takes a second and really supports this channel. It does. Thank you so much. Let's show Jeb some love and appreciation for everything he brings us daily. Thanks, friends. Yes, thank you guys for your continued support. It means a lot to me. Emmanuel Davila said, God bless you, Jeb, and may God continue to work through you. Amen. Amen. Thanks, Jeb, the old farmer. God bless. Uncle Mike's Cryptonomics. Awesome name. Have mercy on all of us, Lord. Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Love you all, brothers and sisters in Christ. Amen. All right, let's read a little bit of our chat here. Of the charts here. Bitcoin did just a couple of hours ago reach up to 71,965. I want to show you this uptrending level of support because Bitcoin is currently respecting it. Bitcoin is holding this uptrending level of support. And so Bitcoin is going to need to be able to hold this. And honestly, before the end of Saturday, we could be seeing a breakout. I honestly think a breakout may be coming very, very soon. I mean, it could be hours away. We might not. We could drop back down to $70,000. But the point here is there's a lot of bullish sentiment in Bitcoin. The bulls are starting to expect, all right, we're going to break out soon. The bulls are just waiting for the right time. Guys, Bitcoin hit all-time high almost 3 months ago. Bitcoin has been flagging out up here for a long time. A next all-time high is very likely to be coming soon. Very, very, very likely to be coming soon. There's so much movement left in this bull market. We've got the Ethereum ETF coming online. The Bitcoin halving has not even had its day yet. Bitcoin's inflation rate has dropped to most likely being inflationary with the constant loss of Bitcoin from wallets being lost, which we'll talk about a way to not do that here in a minute. But if you are watching Bitcoin right now, I want you to do one thing. I want you to ask yourself, am I in debt? If so, pay it off quickly, please. I'm not talking about your mortgage. I'm talking about everything else. Now, if your mortgage is eating up half of your paycheck, half of your household income, then yes, it's your mortgage too. You need to sell the property, or you need to get it, or you need to pay off a bunch of it and refinance it. But if you're not in debt and your mortgage payment equals less than 25%, this is our official teaching. This will be going in Financial Sovereignty Academy. This isn't just something I'm coming up with. This is our official teaching. When I do financial coaching, this is the official teaching that I give you guys. If you have no consumer debt, and if your mortgage makes up less than 25% of your household income, it is time to begin investing. Invest in the stock market, but also invest in Bitcoin. Buying into Bitcoin and buying into the S&P 500. Now, you have to make that choice on your own. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm speaking into a camera here, right? But when you invest in Bitcoin, you are going to be investing in a project that has a 15-year track record of growing on a consistent basis if you hold it for 5 years or more. That's pretty much what you're expecting in the stock market as well. Bitcoin and the stock market have two different value propositions, and so you should purchase both of them, and you should put your retirement in the stock market. But after you've got retirement going into the stock market, there are a billion different ways you can build wealth. You can build wealth investing in crypto. You can build wealth buying into crypto and then staking it, liquid staking. You can buy into real estate. You can buy more into the stock market. You can do a lot of different things to make money after you've already gotten those systems set up. So actually ask yourself one question. Am I out of debt, and does my mortgage cost less than 25% of my household income? If so, it's time to start. And you've got a fully funded 3 to 6 month emergency fund, depending on how seasonal and how stable your job is. After you've got those things, it's time to start investing. Stock market for retirement, and also into crypto. This is how we succeed. This is how you succeed over time. This is not based on you becoming an expert trader. If you become an expert trader, you can do a lot of other things also. But you end up going through the same process. Once you get to the wealth generation part of the equation, which is step 8 in the financial sovereignty way, there are 100,000 different ways you can build wealth. But you are not an investor if you're in debt. You're not. You're padding the pockets of some stupid debt collector who is making all of their money milking you. You are not free when you are in debt. That is a lie and a myth in the culture. Get out of debt and then build your wealth in that order. Don't like it? That's okay. You can do whatever you want to do. But let me tell you something. If you still believe that you can build wealth while being in debt, here's what's going to happen. As your income increases, you're going to end up buying fancier things with this overabundant lifestyle you have. Because you have a $100,000 car sitting in the front yard, you make $80,000 a year. You obviously cannot afford that vehicle, but because you got a loan on it and it's only 15% of your household income only, then you think that it's acceptable. I read something on NerdWallet the other day that said, oh, you know, your car payment should never be more than 15% of your household income. I wanted to reach through the screen and just take their keyboard and break it in half. No, you shouldn't have a car payment, period. You cannot build wealth while you're building Toyota Motor Credit's wealth. I love Toyota. Great company. I don't pay them a freaking penny in interest. Ever. Okay? Get out of debt and then build wealth. And here's how you do it. You invest on a consistent basis. It is simple. It does not change. You buy Bitcoin every week. And you do that for years. But Jeff, it may only double in the next 3 years. So you doubled your money. So you're saying you doubled your money and that's a problem. You buy into Ethereum. There's a report going around right now. Somebody, I forgot who it was, but somebody's predicting, Vanek predicts Ethereum will reach $22,000 by 2030. Right? I mean, if you want any more proof that you should be getting out of debt as quickly as you freaking possibly can so that you can become an investor, then there it is. Ethereum could increase by 700% in the next 4 years, in the next 6 years. I think that they're probably onto something. I could totally see that. I think Ethereum will hit $10,000 in the next year and a half, 2 years. Get out of debt, invest on a regular basis, build wealth. Why? Building wealth is a good thing. It's not bad to not build wealth, but building wealth in and of itself is a good thing. In the house of a good man are choice oils. Right? I've heard that before. Building wealth is a good thing because it gives you power to do more good. It is rich people or a mass of people that are, are doing relatively well that raise money to do good things, that raise money for the kingdom. I want to build a huge financial portfolio, a huge amount of wealth, so I can give it to the kingdom and to provide for people that are trying to share the gospel in far-flung countries and to share it with people that are trying to get little children out of sex slavery in India. That's why I want to build wealth. I don't want to build wealth so that I can have a fancier car, although I like that, and I do want nice things. I like nice things, but my main purpose is to teach people how to succeed with money so their life can be better, and also to give money so that people can be free and people can see the love of Christ through that endeavor. That's what motivates me. And if I want to build wealth, I'm showing you exactly how I'm doing it. And if you do it too, you will also be You will also be successful. So invest. Get your debt paid off and invest. Get your debt paid off and invest. Car payment not more than 15% of your income isn't wrong. It also shouldn't be more than 5 to 7. Yes, it shouldn't be more than, yeah, that's true. It shouldn't be more than 15% of your income. It shouldn't be more than 5 to 7% of your income. It shouldn't be more than 0.01% of your income. Don't have a car payment. Buy a car that you can afford. Live on less than you make. That's kind of one of the laws of money. If you break it, don't be surprised if you're stuck being middle class forever. You break the laws of money, you will be poor or middle class, or even if you manage to get rich because you only broke one of them or whatever, you're not going to stay that way. I'm not saying that you can reach a degree of success by not doing what I'm teaching you. By the way, the reason I speak with such authority on what I'm saying is because it's all in the Holy Scriptures. It's all in the Holy Spirit breathed inerrant Word of God. He taught on money, and by the way, all of the data backs up what I'm saying too. Because it's almost like the Bible is true. And so when we look into the data, we see the exact same thing that it's teaching. You see that in the social sciences. You're starting to find that in the physical sciences. You find that in the financial world as well. People that build a ridiculous amount of wealth are not doing it on a boatload of debt. They're not doing it where they're giving all their money to someone else. If they do, then they're treating it like they're renting rather than owning. People that purchase real estate property, rental properties on interest-only financing, they're not even treating that like they own it. They're treating it like they're renting it. They're not even trying to be sovereign over it. That's the only reason they get away with that, because they're not even trying to own it. They're not even trying to build any equity in it. They're treating it like they're renting it. They're treating it like they're renting a property and then buying it. That's the way you do it with commercial real estate. I wouldn't do that, but that's what they're doing, right? They're not treating it like they're sovereign over it. That's not what they're doing. When you break the laws of money, don't be surprised if you don't hit your full potential. If you follow the laws of money, don't be surprised if it takes a little bit longer, but you'll end up going so much farther than anybody else around you. And guys, also make sure to mitigate your risk by signing up for Vault. If you haven't already, make sure to go to uphold.com with the link in the description box down below and get access to Vault. This is a product that is going to keep you safe from losing your cryptocurrency keys, because if you lose your keys, then you lost all of the work that you put into building that portfolio. Don't do that. You cannot get time back. You can get money back, but here's the thing. It took you time to make the money. It took you time to build the investments. So protect the investments so that all the time you put into building those investments does not end up being wasted. Learn a lesson the easy way, not the hard way. I learned at a young age. I can learn a lesson the easy way or the hard way, so I'm going to try as much as I possibly can to learn it the easy way, because I don't like things being hard. Things do get hard in life. But if I can learn something the easy way, I'd rather do that and just skip a step, right? I'd rather just get a, skip to go, collect $200, right? I'd rather just skip the hardship if I'm able to. And so don't wait until you lost all of your keys because you ended up, losing a wallet. Sign up for Vault with the link in the description box down below and protect yourself. If you lose a key, they will give you their Uphold key, and you'll be able to get back into the wallet. Make sure to check them out. Link in the description box down below. Love your dedication to Jesus. Absolutely. Dang, I'm late. Consistently working that 9 to 5. Not too late to hit the like button to see Bitcoin breaking out. Shout out to you, Roll. It's all right, man. You're going to get there. Build that FinSov. And, that's another reason why I want you to be out of debt. When you're out of debt, there's this feeling of, I don't know anything. I can do whatever I want. And so what ends up happening is a lot of times when people get out of debt, they end up making career changes, because they were only doing the thing that they were doing because they had to. When you're getting off the ground, if you're freaking homeless, then I'm sorry. I don't care if you don't like flipping burgers. You got to go get a job. I don't care if you like the job. You have to get a job. You have to. But once you've built enough wealth, then you get the option to say, up yours, boss. You treat me like a butthole, so I'm going to leave, and I'm going to go find somewhere that treats me correctly. And so you get the ability to do that. This is America. I don't like my job. I can quit. So, but if you're flat freaking broke, you might not be able to quit. You might be stuck. And here's the deal. You're a slave. You're a slave to your debt. You're a slave to your boss. Strong people have options. Jordan Peterson put the meek shall inherit the earth, right? From Matthew 5:3, Jordan Peterson put it this way, and I like the way he said it. A meek individual is not necessarily someone that is weak. In fact, pretty much all the time, if somebody is truly meek, they're not weak, they're extremely strong. A meek individual is like this. A meek individual is somebody who has a sword and knows how to use it, but chooses to keep it sheathed. Because, and I'm adding this, because the loving thing to do is to submit to the other person's will. And so, to be meek, it requires strength. I want you to have financial strength. I want you to have the financial strength to say, I'm not living in this neighborhood. I'm not going to have cars zooming up and down, shooting people up. I'm not going to deal with that every night. I'm going to live in a nice neighborhood where people don't go up and down the street trying to hurt people. I'm going to not be in debt so that I can make career choices around what I'm passionate about, not just around how do I make enough money to get out of debt. I want you to have freedom. I want you to have sovereignty. I don't want you to be a slave to money, because I tell you what, money makes a terrible slave driver, makes a terrible master, absolutely horrible master. It will take you places you do not want to go. I know so many people that are flat broke, and the reason that they are so miserable in life is because they're always stressed out about money. Your money controlling you. And being in poverty, that's an example of that sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes that's an example of your money controlling you, or your monetary situation allowing somebody else to control you. It ends up leading you in a direction you don't want to go. It leads people into all kinds of temptations because they are not in a position of strength, and so they're under so much stress. Remember how I said stress is a good thing if it's in the right amount? Too little stress, you turn into a pretty princess. I've got my trust fund. I do whatever I want. I go to Starbucks. You just end up becoming a fairly foo-foo weak individual, and you're no use to society. If you got too much stress, then it ends up breaking you, and you end up breaking and then lashing out on people. So when you're flat broke, you end up becoming a very it ends up making it very difficult to have to be a kind individual, a moral individual, because you're so freaking stressed out all the time. Put your money in order and get out of debt. It'll bring peace. One of the fruits of wisdom is the ability to sleep well at night. I want you to sleep well at night, and then I want you to become ridiculously wealthy. In that order, though. Don't become ridiculously wealthy just so you don't sleep at night because you've got so much debt in a job that you hate. Don't go work for $400,000 a year if you don't like the job. If you love the job, then great, go do it. But find the peace first and then build the wealth. In that order, it's a great thing to build wealth so long as you are doing it the right way. Roll Hendricks said, my only debt is mortgage, so I'm on my way thanks to you, Jeb, paying it all off if the bull market makes it to 150 this cycle. Boom, I love it. So excited for you, Roll. When you don't have a mortgage payment, come back in 12 months after you've done that, because I believe you can do it. Come back in 12 months and tell us how it feels to not have any debt. How does it feel? Feels great. One reason to be your own boss. Absolutely. That's what I'm trying to teach you how to be. Building your own financial portfolio helps you to become your own boss. I am my own boss. I don't report to anybody except for you guys and God. And I guess the state of Florida, right? You know, legally. But I don't report to anybody in a corporate structure because I am the chief executive officer of our company. And I don't walk around calling myself that because that'd be a little prideful. We have a small team right now. I don't want to walk around being like, oh, I'm a CEO of a small team. You know, that's pride. When I had 20 employees, yeah, I called myself a CEO because I had a C-suite under me. I had 3 chief executive. I had 3 other C-suite executives, but we figured out that we can run the company on a lot smaller payroll, which means it's a lot more profitable. So I don't call myself that, but I am the owner of the company. I report to nobody. My wife and I do everything in agreement as much as we possibly can, right? So, I mean, there's that, but so I guess in a way we report to each other, but I report to God, and, you know, ultimately I report to the market. If I do something that succeeds in the marketplace, then I succeed. If I don't do something that succeeds in the marketplace, then I don't succeed. I am my own boss. I'm beholden only to my customers, God, and the laws of the state of Florida, and the responsibility I have to love and cherish my wife. Those are the only things I'm beholden to, and those are all good things to be beholden to, at least among those being the law of the United States and the state of Florida. But nevertheless, I have freedom. I have options, and that is because I've worked very hard for the last 7 years to put myself in that position by being an entrepreneur, by, you know, being away from debt, and by, you know, budgeting, investment, generosity, you know, and just in general trying to become financially sovereign. And I've not always had the guiding philosophy that I do now, but that guiding philosophy has led me into a lot of peace. I mean, guys, a year and a half ago, I had so much less peace because I was so screwing things up. I've learned the hard way. I had to learn some of I tried to learn lessons the easy way. This whole financial sovereignty business and why it's so important, I had to learn that one the hard way. I'll tell you what, I had to learn that the hard way. As time goes on, I'll tell you guys more of the story, but bottom line, I was breaking almost every single one of the laws of financial sovereignty. Almost every single one of them. I was making a bunch of money, wasn't following the laws of money, and then I became the guy that wealth gained by vanity will soon be diminished. And that's kind of been our story. Now we're growing a lot right now, and so we're good, but I ended up making a lot of stupid mistakes financially, and I've learned from all of them, and we're in a great place. We have been seeing record profits on the company standpoint. We've been building wealth at a clip that I haven't seen in many years. We've been doing a great job of everything behind the scenes, but it's taken us actually walking the financial sovereignty, the laws of financial sovereignty that I've been teaching you guys. And that's why I'm never going to stop teaching it, because I know exactly how important it is to your marriage, to your relationships, and overall to your life. So make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, because we've got many more decades to go. Unless I get hit by a bus, I'm going to be here till I'm old and gray teaching you guys about how to succeed with money. Make sure to also check out crypto.com, because this is where your journey begins of investment in the crypto space. You can set up your recurring purchases here, and you should. And the reason for that is because when you set up your recurring purchases on cryptocurrencies, this is how you invest. You invest on a consistent basis. We invest consistently in assets that we reasonably expect will be worth more in 5 years than they are now. That's our investment thesis. And a 95% confidence that they'll be worth more in 5 years than they are now. So with the different cryptocurrencies that you purchase, so you can be investing into the space, then the asset that you bought is going up in value, so you're increasing the amount of Bitcoin you have, you're increasing the value of the Bitcoin that you have, and then you're doing both because you're lending it over here at 5%. So make sure you check it out with the link in the description box. down below. All right. We're going to wrap it out here. I am so thankful that all of you have tuned in and bared with us. Obviously, there's been a couple of hiccups here, but we are here as always, and we're not going to stop anytime soon. I was my own boss for over 8 years, and since selling my business, I'm a better employee. I did not like the headaches and overhead expenses. It taught me a ton and helps me respect my employer. Yeah, running a business is a pain in the butt. So if you got a boss who's a butthole, maybe, buy him some coffee and ask him how he's doing, because running a business is very stressful. Definitely no excuse to take it out on your employees. But anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed today's stream. We're going to wrap it out. Before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching this episode of #FinSolve Friday, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.